What's up, everybody? J Heat Sports Media coming at y'all again with that fire as always. Spitting the hot topics and getting the sports conversation started. Y'all know what I'm talking about: football, basketball, and boxing. Let's get to it. So, I want to talk about the state of the NBA, or should I say the state of basketball worldwide. And that's important. Basketball is the second biggest, largest, most popular sport in the world as a whole, next to soccer. Everybody knows that, or football as they would call it overseas. In the United States, basketball is second to football, American football, that is. But worldwide, it's a big, big market. And the state of basketball goes as the NBA goes. They're the leader. And even though there's talk of the demise of the NBA with college basketball, the Final Four, the championship, getting more views than the men's game, the ascension of Caitlin Clark, which I totally am supportive of and love that and can't wait to see her do her thing. People have talked about the men's game as though it's on the decline. Yet NBC recently is said to be trying to buy out Warner Brothers for the media rights to the NBA in order to take that from TNT. So, though that demise obviously is greatly exaggerated. But that being said, we are in a new era of basketball that the NBA is leading the way to, and that's what I wanted to focus on for this video. You see, Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant, the three kings, if you will, of this era, the guys that have defined this era of basketball, or I will say the past era of basketball now, because I think we're entering a new era. These are the guys that took over after the era that was Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Allen Iverson. And those guys obviously took over from Michael Jordan, going and so on and so forth. Well, Michael Jordan globalized the game, which was the NBA's intent. They wanted that. They needed that. It helped globalize their brand. And guys like Kobe, LeBron James, and others, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, have helped to expand the game even more globally. And now we're in an era where we're seeing the changing of the guard. Curry didn't even make the playoffs this year. Got ousted in the play-in. Kevin Durant has gotten swept in the first round of the playoffs. And LeBron James caught the gentleman's sweep. All of these guys are home watching the playoffs, getting focused for the Olympics. They will be there to lead us in the Olympics, and we will need their leadership to help achieve another gold medal for the U.S. Olympic team, and that'll be great. But it'll be a different Olympic vibe with them being home so early, not proceeding to the Olympics off of a deep playoff run. Now we're seeing these young boys take over, these young men, and it's great for the league, great for the game, and we have to embrace it. Right now, there's a big swell in the media for the attention of Anthony Edwards. They want him to be the face of the league. They're saying he is the face. I see that push time and time again by the players, the media. To me, that's because the U.S., who made basketball what it is, wants the face to be an American star. Some people, I think, feel it needs to be an American star. The problem is, the reality is, we're moving away from that. We wanted a globalized game, and now we got it. Anthony Edwards does have a chance to be the face of the league. He's that good. They would like for Jason Tatum to take over. He's playing tonight for the Boston Celtics. But that would be great because he's in a market for the Boston Celtics, a historic team. And if he could take over as the face of the league, that'd be great. Anthony Edwards being in Minnesota, a smaller market, but he has the charisma the attitude, the game, the style. He's box office. I think he could do it from Minnesota too. The problem is we're entering a new era. That's what I talked about, and that's what I want to make sure I end this and focusing on. We're in the era of the international five. While the U.S. is still the leader in basketball, and if you go from the best players in the world to the bottom, the worst players in the world, more of them are from the United States, no doubt about it, not overseas. However, AAU has diminished the game in some capacity in the U.S. We're getting a little bit away from the fundamentals that they preach and teach overseas, and we're seeing guys from overseas coming over doing better and better in the league. And while their worst players aren't necessarily better than our worst players, their best players are. Right now, the international five are setting to take over. 4 of them are top 5 players in the league today, in my opinion. Nikola Jokic, who's the best player in the world. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Joel Embiid, who you can argue for 2 and 3. And Luka Doncic. Top 4 players, in my opinion. And then we have Victor Wembanyama, who very well may actually be the face of the league in a few years, even if he stays in San Antonio. He's something we've never seen and would be a good push. All these guys, to be the face of the league, is you got to win. You got to be in the conversation for the best in the world. That's critical. You can't be a guy that's out of the top 5, top 10. I don't care what your style is and what you're bringing. If you're not in the conversation at points in your career for the best player in the world, it ruins that whole face part. Victor very well should be in that conversation inside of 2 years. And with him and the other 4, those 5 are set to be what we see for the next 5 to 10 years. And we have to embrace it. We wanted a global game. We got a global game. These guys are playing with a skill. The big man is back, baby. Victor Wembanyama, Joel Embiid, Jokic, even Anthony Davis, who's from the States, Karl Anthony Towns. These guys can play in the post like your traditional big man from the 80s, but can stretch it and hit the 3, can take it off the dribble. The game has been revolutionized from guys like Steph Curry, who made the 3-pointer sexy to everybody, and Kevin Durant before him, who made it appropriate for guys who are 7 feet to shoot 3s instead of saying get your big tail in the paint. Kevin Durant on the top of the key, dribbling it like a guard and playing like a guard, makes way for Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Victor Wembanyama, so on and so forth. So these guys are taking over. Maybe the U.S. will get it back as far as the best players in the world being from the U.S. But right now it's not. Let's embrace it. Let's see where we go from here. And let's check out these playoffs and see if the European guys and the guys from overseas are what we see as we get to these finals. Will the Denver Nuggets, for instance, win another championship? All right, that's all the time I got. Y'all know what it is, and you know who you looking for. J-Heat Sports Media. Remember to like, subscribe, or get at me in the comments. Catch me on YouTube, Instagram, X, and TikTok.